What we are going to learn today, it is very, very important to learn artificial intelligence. The topic is known as propositional logic. So before starting the concept of propositional logic, first I will tell you that why we need this propositional logic, means why we need to study this kind of logic. So if you ask me this question, that is, what is the concept of logic in AI? See, before starting the concept of logic in I will tell you that we have different kinds of logic. So, among them, the most significant logic that we have to use in repeated amount of time in case of AI based application, one is propositional logic. Second one is predicate logic, and another form of this predicate logic is known as well formed formula or WFF. So whenever we have this kinds of logic, so first question that come in our mind, which kind of logic we should use for which purpose? So, in order to understand the significance of each and every logic, first we will start from the very basic kind of logic, which is known as propositional logic. Now, here the concept is why we need this kind of logical representation. So, we know that our main aim to make our machine intelligent. That is, we have to make an AI machine. So, how our machine will become intelligent? If our machine can reason, can think, can mimic the human behavior or human thought process, then only our machine will become an AI machine. The second question is how we can make an AI machine. We need appropriate input or we need knowledge base. So we have to create the repository of knowledge that will act as an input to the AI machine so that our machine could learn and can understand, can comprehend all those inputs and can give us specific output. And by visualizing this output, we will able to understand that our machine is inferring, our machine is mimicking the human thought process. So this is our expectation. Now, here at this point of time, we have to understand what is the difficulty we have. So whenever I am talking about knowledge base, for creating knowledge base, we will give the input, that is the knowledge about the environment in which we are acting day by day. So environmental knowledge is basically fed into the knowledge base. Now, how we could provide this environmental knowledge? So here, generally, all knowledge will be in the natural language. For an example, it may be in English, it may be in Bengali, it may be in Hindi. So for the time being, say our natural language is say English. So whichever statement or whichever knowledge we are providing to the machine, they are in the natural language. But machine will not be able to understand all this natural language because it is a machine. It will only understand some kind of logic. So, if we want to create an appropriate knowledge base, so at this point of time, we have to convert all the environmental knowledge into some logical representation, and then only we can feed all this knowledge to the machine, and then only machine can comprehend all those knowledge. So converting this statement English to logical representation is very much important. So this is the point why we need logic in case of AI. So try to understand whenever we are writing this kind of statement, that is, it is Sunday. I want to feed this natural language into the knowledge base as an input. So since it is a natural language, machine will not be able to understand it. So we have to convert this English statement in any of the logical format so that our machine could understand this input, right? So this is the need of logic. Now we will start from the very basic knowledge which is known as propositional logic. So it's a very basic kind of logic. So starting from propositional logic, later on we will understand which logic are more important and which logic we have to use for which purpose. But today's only aim or goal is converting English statement into some logical representation, right? So let's talk about this propositional logic. Means what is this propositional logic? If we are not able to understand what is this propositional logic, then we will not be able to convert any English statement into proposition. So this is the point. We have to start from the very basic concept of propositional logic. Now, if you ask me this question, what is this propositional logic? I will tell you that propositional logic is declarative statement. Now, what do you mean by declarative statement? See, declarative statement is something which has either true or false outcome. Or you can say that declarative statement is something which depicts the truth about the real world. Now, here there is a twist. Truth does not imply true. Truth means either true or false. So, this thing you have to keep in mind. So, propositional logic is a declarative statement, means any statement that is having an output either true or false, or in a simplest format, you can say that declarative statement with truth outcome. So this is the definition of propositional logic. Now I'm giving you one example. Say whenever I'm talking about it is Sunday. So now the question is this statement is a propositional logic? I will tell you that it is yes, because it is Sunday. Either it is true or it is false. So this kind of statement can be considered as an example of proposition. Or we can say that, see, sun rises from the west. Definitely it is false, but this statement is definitely a proposition. We can say that the sun rises from west. So we can tell it as false proposition. Now here if I write 3 plus 3 is equal to 7. Yes, we can judge this outcome with true or false value. Definitely it is a false, or definitely it is a false proposition. Now if I tell you this statement that open the door. Now I will not be able to represent this statement into some declarative form. Open the door means what? It is some kind of instruction. So this statement never be considered as propositional statement. Means it does not have either true or false representation. So this is the very basic of propositional logic. But what is our aim? Our aim is to convert any English statement into propositional logic, right? So at this point of time, what we can do? Now we are coming to the second phase. What is that? See, whenever we are talking about propositional logic, see, propositional logic is also known as Boolean logic, as it works on 0 and 1, true and false, right? So in case of propositional logic, we have to also use some variables to represent this logic. And what kind of variable we can use? We can use capital A, B, C, D. This kind of variable we can use for some representation, right? And also I have stated that a proposition can be either true or false. Now there is another important point. apart from these variables and apart from this true and false representation, in case of propositional logic, we need connectives. Now I will tell you what is the need of connectives or logical connectives in case of proposition. Now, if you ask me this question, how many kinds of proposition we have, I will tell you that there exist two kinds of proposition. One is atomic proposition and another one is compound proposition. Now, first we have to understand what is atomic proposition and then we have to understand what is compound proposition. Then we can understand why we need connectives in case of representing proposition. Now I'm giving you one example, that is the sun is cold. So now how can I convert it into the proposition? So before converting it into the proposition, first check whether it is a propositional statement or not. So in order to check this one, first we have to check whether it is a declarative statement or not. Declarative statement means this statement will have either true or false value. So the sun is cold. We have either true or false value. So it is a false statement. So we can tell that it is a proposition. Definitely it is a false proposition. So first point is over. Then the second point. We have to use variable or connectives in order to represent proposition. Before that, first we will check whether it is an atomic or compound proposition. See, atomic proposition means here we have only one statement. One single statement we are having. So definitely it is an example of atomic proposition. Now you can ask me one question, that is, okay, so what is the example of compound proposition? Say I can say that, say there is a person, name of the person is say ABC. So ABC is a doctor and his clinic is in Kolkata. See, in case of this kind of statement, we have two statements. ABC is a doctor and the clinic of ABC is situated in Kolkata. So whenever we have more than one statement together, always we have to use some connectives. So what is this connective? So whenever we are using and or not, these are the very basic connectives that we will use for any kind of proposition. So how can I represent this one? See, whenever you have atomic proposition, means only one statement. So you just use any variable to represent this statement. So you can write A is equal to the sun is cold, means this A variable is holding this entire atomic statement. So A is the representative of this statement. Now in case of this statement, how we can represent? So I will write, say A means ABC is a doctor. And say I'm taking another variable, V means ABC's clinic is in Kolkata. And we have one connective and. So I will write it as A means this entire statement and this statement represented as B, A and B. So this is a representation of this statement and this is a representation of this statement. So this is an example of atomic proposition and this is an example of compound proposition. So for compound proposition we need variable and connectives, and for atomic proposition we need only variable. So this thing you have to keep in mind, right? But before going into further details, we have to understand how many different kinds of connectives are already there, right? These are not the only connectives that we are having. We are having other kinds of connectives too. So let's check what kind of connectives we are having. So we are having the first connective which is known as negation. So negation will be represented by either this symbol or this symbol. Both are same. So if you find some symbol like this, not P. Now what is the meaning of this statement? You know that it is a logical connective, and P means it is a variable that is holding one English statement, right? So if I write it is not Monday. If I write this statement, how could I represent this? We know that it is an atomic proposition, first point, because it is a declarative statement. Then second point, to represent atomic statement, we need some variable. So P. So P is basically holding this statement, but this statement is having one word not. So I will write it as not P. So P means it is Monday, and if I want to represent it is not Monday, then we will write not P. So this is how we can use negation statements. Now after negation, we have some connective which is known as conjunction. I have already explained what is this conjunction. So whenever we have this kind of statement P and Q, it is known as conjunction. Now what is this P and Q? Say I have one statement that is say R is the person name, R is intelligent and R is hardworking. So at this point of time, how we can represent this statement into proposition? It means P, one variable, it means Q, another variable, and we have and conjunction. So P and Q is using conjunction, and this is a propositional representation of the statement. Similarly, we have disjunction, P or Q. Say we have a statement that R is a doctor or engineer. So how can I represent this one? R is a doctor, P. R is engineer is Q, and we have or in between. So this is disjunction. And now we have a very important thing to understand. There is another connective which is known as implication. Implication means we have to use this symbol. Say P implies Q. Now what is the meaning of this implication? This implication is also known as if-then rule. Now what is this if-then rule? Say we have one statement that is if it is raining, then the street is wet. So what I will do, say we have if statement. So this is it is raining, say it is P, and the street is wet, it is Q. Since we have if then together, it will be represented as P implies Q. If P, then Q. So up to this, we have already concluded that apart from not, we have and or logical connectives. But we have another logical connective which is known as implication. But you have to understand one point about implication. So whenever we are using this implication rule, it is also known as if-then rule. This kind of logical connectives are very difficult for a machine to comprehend. So at this point of time, we have to simplify this statement a little bit. And this simplification is done via some augmented rule. And what is that augmented rule? Please make a note. We have to use repeatedly this rule for different purpose. So whenever P implies Q is given to you, it can be further simplified into not P or Q. It's a simplified format of this implication. Now you can ask me this question, why we need to convert this? Because machines finds it very difficult to understand this implication sign, and for a machine understanding basic logical operators like and or not are very much easier. So Whenever we have got this kind of statement, we will use augmented rule and convert it. So you have to keep in mind. Now we have another logical connective which is known as biconditional logical connective. So it is known as P double implies Q. Now how we can represent this one? Say we have one statement like I am breathing and say I am alive. If I am breathing, then I am alive. So this is the statement. So if you carefully look into that statement, if I am breathing, then I am alive, I can reversely say that if I am alive, then I am breathing. So for representing this kind of statement, we have to use P means I am breathing and Q means I am alive. And what logical connective we will use? It is a bidirectional connective. It is represented by this symbol. Now try to understand. Implication means if then. If this one, then this one. And whenever we have the reverse logic also, then we can consider it as biconditional statement, right? But again, it is very difficult for a machine to understand these biconditional symbols. So again, we have to perform some augmented rule on this so that we could simplify this thing into some basic logical operator kind of representation. So try to understand whenever we have P implies Q, we can write it as not P or Q. And if I am having Q implies P, then I can write not Q or P, right? So what is the meaning of P double implies Q? If you look into this direction, you have P implies Q. And if you look into this direction, you have Q implies P. So basically we have both the representation. So P double implies Q means P implies Q and Q implies P, right? And we know that how to simplify this one. P implies Q means not P or Q and Q implies P means not Q or P. So this is the simplified augmented representation of P double implies Q. So these two things you have to keep in mind. Whenever we have implication and double implication, we have to simplify it further, right? So this is a very basic thing about the connective you have to keep in mind. But now I have one important thing to discuss. So whenever I'm talking about proposition, these are not the statements because in real life we do not have this simple kind of statements always. We have some complicated kind of statements, right? Some complicated situation. So is it possible to represent everything in terms of proposition? Can we do this? My answer is no. Because each and every logic has its own demerits. We have already talked about if the statement is true for the time being, it may be false for the next moment. So how we can represent this kind of thing, right? So try to understand, we are going to discuss about the logic and which logic is useful in which situation. This thing we have to keep in mind. So here the point is, whatever statement we are dealing with today, they are very simple. So basically from here I can conclude that for representing any simple situation or simple statement of the real world, we can use propositional logic. But what a propositional logic cannot do, because propositional logic is having some disadvantage. What is that? In simple word, if my statement is having this kinds of word, all, then some, this kind of words cannot be represented by propositional logic. For an example, say all students are performing well in the class. See, students are performing well in the class. I can represent it by P. But how can I represent all? Or if I want to replace it as some students are performing well in the class, if I consider all students are performing well in the class, it is known as P. Now, if I write some students are performing well in the class, again it is known as P. So try to understand all and some. This kind of word needs some special representation in mathematics. And this kind of representations are known as quantifiers. But quantifiers are not supported in propositions. So whenever you are representing something into proposition, then you cannot use quantifiers. So as a result, if your statement is having this kind of word, then you have to use quantifiers. And as a result, these quantifiers are supported only for predicates, predicate logic. So here the simplest point is whenever you have this kind of statement in some representation, you will not be able to use proposition. So at this point of time, what you have to use? You have to use predicate logic. So here try to understand. We are going to discuss some logics, right? First, we will understand what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of those logic, right? Then we will use some English statement and then we will try to convert it. And converting those statements are not so easy. Always we have to keep in mind which statement will be represented by which logic, right? So today up to this I have discussed what is the advantages and disadvantages of propositional logic and how we can represent it. But one more thing you have to keep in mind. So sometimes, see, we are using operators, right, over here. Now we have to follow some properties of operators. Now you can ask me this question, what is this properties of operators? Say in mathematics, we know that there are some operator properties. So the first property is known as commutativity. What is that? So whenever we have P and Q, according to commutativity property, we can write it as Q and P. Or if we have some representation like P or Q, then I can definitely write it as Q or P. So how can I use it? Say we are having that statement that R is a person name. Say R is a doctor or engineer. Now how can I represent it? So R is a doctor. So I will write it as P is equal to R is a doctor. Or R is engineer. So Q is equal to R is an engineer. So how can I represent it? It is a compound proposition. So I can represent it as P or Q. So according to the commutativity property, I can write it as Q or P. Means if I write this statement as R is an engineer or R is a doctor, it represents the same thing. Since commutativity property hold, right? So similarly, I can apply it for AND operator also. So this is the first property which is known as commutativity. Then we have the second property which is known as associativity. Simple, what is that? Whenever we have some representation like P and Q and R, so we can write it as P and Q and R according to associativity property. Similarly, if we have P or Q or R, according to associativity property, we can write P or Q or R, right? So similarly, we have identity property. What is this identity property? So we have P and true. It will be represented as P. However, if we have P or true, then it will be termed as true. So these are the properties of operator. But the most important property we have to use every time, that is known as De Morgan's law. What is this De Morgan's law? Whenever we have not P and Q, we can write it as not P, then this connective will be changed, or then not Q. Or if you have this situation, not P or Q, then we can write it as not P, then this one will change, and then not Q. So this is the De Morgan's law. We have to use it in the further process. And we have also one law which is known as double negation law. This double negation law means if we have not of not P, we can write it as P. So these are the properties of operator that holds, and we have to use all these properties while converting any English statement into propositional representation, right? So these are the basic thing you have to keep in mind. And on the next day onwards, I will give you some specific situation that you can deal with propositions. Then we will try out some conversion. Then we will move on to the predicates, and then we will move on to the WFF. So these are the basic steps that you have to keep in mind, right? So these are the just basic representation. What is this propositions? And I think now you can understand that why making an AI machine is important. Because whatever language we are uttering, all those language will act as an input for a machine. And unfortunately, machine will not be able to understand natural language. So we have to convert all this natural language into some logical representation. Which logical representation, that we have to decide: proposition, predicate, well formed formula. And then machine can understand the inputs, the knowledge, and then it can react, then it can comprehend, then it can understand, and then it will give us the output.